Yo, so we're back at it. I got another little tie I wanted to show y'all. We're coming into white bass season. Kind of already started, but it's still pretty early, so I figured I'd want to share a fly with y'all that I kind of consider my go-to white bass fly. I pretty much only throw this and maybe a clouser. So this is it. This is the White Boy Bugger. It's a very, very simple tie. And it's only like 4 materials, and it works extremely well. I've had if you've ever been white bass fishing, I mean, it's, during the run, it's, 30, 40 fish days type deal, if not more than that. And I mean, these are pretty durable. And, if you don't lose it, if you don't lose it on a log or a rock or in a tree, you could easily, one fly will last all day. It ends up getting a little sparse, when it gets whacked a bunch of times, the hackles start to disappear and the marabou gets a little thin, and, but for the most part, you can get a number of fish on it. So let's see if I can focus on it. This is the fly. I didn't forget to put it in the vise, believe it or not. So I'm going to show you how to tie it. So first off, you start with these Wapsi super jig heads. This is a 1/16 ounce number 4 hook, size 4 hook. You could probably throw this on like a ultralight ugly stick or something. It's heavy enough to chunk. But yeah, it works really good with the fly. Gets it down there and, kind of bounces it along the bottom where they're hanging out, off the banks. So I found that this hook is really, really good, and they're pretty inexpensive. I'm using red thread. I chose to tie this fly in white. That's the one that I typically use the most, but I also do tie it in chartreuse. So you just start with red thread. This is Danville's 210 denier, so strong thread. The only reason why I use strong thread is, I think I've said this before, is because I like to pull really hard. So the first thing we put in is the marabou tail. I have 2 pieces stacked on top of each other just to kind of thicken it up a little bit. But what you do is you same kind of deal with like a woolly bugger. I mean, I call it the White Boy Bugger because it's kind of tied just like a woolly bugger. It's tied almost exactly like a woolly bugger. But it's got it's a little different. So, just measure it basically the whole length, and then you move it back there. And then I will kind of straighten it out a little bit there, and then just tie it in, cinch it down. You got 210 denier. You're probably not going to break it. You might break it. I'm going to tie this. So basically, the shanks on these hooks are real thin. So to kind of, actually, you know what? I'm going to show you another way that I do it. I'm going to twist this off, twist this up, cut it out, and then kind of secure it down. Don't cut it. So there, that's good. That's not really rolling or anything. Let me just cinch it down once at the bottom. There we go. All right. Now, the next step after that, pretty simple so far, is once again, just like my glass minnow, I'm using lateral scale. I love this stuff. So just you only need, you really don't even need a whole strand. You really need just like one strand. Once again, like I said, this stuff has like a little bit of a memory to it. Try and do it to where it's kind of going with the fly, not bending away from the fly. And just tie that in on the side. Oh, hold on. I should have clipped this to make it a little bit easier to manage. Okay, and then just tie it along the side. I am going to cut it. There we go. Now that's tied in, and then just work it back. And I will show you about the length. It's hard to, you kind of go 3/4 of the way out the marabou, against the marabou, 3/4 of the way all the way to the tail. I will show you. You can see it. There it is where I tied it in. So you tied it on that side. And then where did I just put that tag in that I just cut off? Here it is. It's like turned sideways. Very difficult to see. And then take this, do the same thing on this side, about 3/4 of the way down. I got it turned sideways, but that's about right. And then to go easy, make it easy on me, I'm going to snip it. Now save that, because if you're probably going to tie a number of these, because I don't know about you, but when I'm fishing for white bass, like, I lose a lot of flies in the wood and, up on the bank and casting the trees, because I suck. So it's, I tie a number of these then for that reason. So now I'm going to take the thread all the way up here, because this is a really thin shank. So I'm bringing my thread all the way behind the lead head on it. And then the next material is sparkle braid. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to pull a piece off. You can leave the sparkle braid on the cardboard backing and tie it in that way, so you're not wasting any. But to make this as quick as possible, I'm going to take it off and, kind of give you an idea. So I tie the sparkle braid in up front. Then I am going to palmer it back. Then palmer it forward. And it kind of puts like a bulk. It like bulks up that. It bulks it up on the shank. I probably should have palmered it the other way, but whatever. All right. Tie that in there. Cut off the excess, and look at that. I only wasted that much. So probably would have wasted the same amount if I had it on the had it still on the cardboard. Then the next material is white Chinese saddle hackle. Right? Strung rooster saddles long. Strung rooster saddles long. That's, I guess maybe this is strung rooster saddles long. You can use Chinese saddle hackle. You can use schlappen as well. Depending on how long you want your hackles to be going back. I found that schlappen is a little too long and a little too full. So I used Chinese saddle hackle, and then also with the hackle feathers, you want it to be like the concave, like the natural concaveness of the feather. You want that to go up against your fly so that it rolls back, not forward. Because if you put it in the other way, the hackles will want to come forward. So then you just tie it in behind the head, and then just start palmering it kind of in place and preen it back. Palmer in place, preen it back, palmer in place, preen it back, And then that kind of gives it like this thick head, like A&W root beer. Dumbass and dumbass. It's Dumas. If any of you remember that commercial, it's one of my faves. So then, clip that. Golly, that hurt. So then, once that's tied in, I like to grab my little finger brush and brush those hackles out like that. Then I'm gonna kind of get any of these. Don't want to get blood in my white fly. Then kind of tie a red collar into it like that. Whip finish. I don't even know if this is a whip finish. It's a bunch of hitches. I'm pretty sure it's a whip finish. This is how I just basically do all my flies. Oh, and then I broke it off. Look, did the work for me. Then, that's a little loose. Let me throw a couple. Oh, it came off. So I just don't want the thread to be loose like that. So I'm going to cut it off. Cut it off. There's some blood on the on the vise from when I whacked my finger on the hook. See how that looks? Let me actually, before I start brushing that out, because I don't want to pull the thread loose, let me get my, that's UV Cure Thick. I need UV Cure Solar Res Flex, and I know it is here. Here it is, right here. I knew it was somewhere. So just kind of tap Solar Res all on that collar. Tap the Solar Res all on that collar, kind of spin and get it even. Then, actually, I kind of use my bodkin and flatten it down a little bit. Oop, that thing's dirty as heck. That looks good now. That looks much better. All right. Zap it. That's that. Now go in there with the finger brush and preen it back out. And you are done. That is the White Boy Bugger. And that is my go-to white bass fly for the white bass run, the river running white bass. Yeah, super fun. Hope you get some time during the spring to get out, the early spring, to get out there and target them, because it is a good time. I mean, it is not serious fishing by any stretch of the imagination, but it is definitely a great way to set off this this new warmer weather coming out of the wintertime. So hope you enjoyed the video, and tie some of these up, give them a shot. I'm pretty sure you'll like them, because they produce. All right, take it easy, y'all. Good luck out there.